Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
You've just joined the Prepper Broadcasting Network, where we promote self-reliance and independence. The views and opinions expressed are strictly those of the host or their guests. Visit us in the interactive chat room at prepperbroadcasting.com.
Survive, thrive, stay alive. It's time to get prepared with the Prepping Academy podcast.
All right, new theme music. Everyone gave me a hard time last week, so I put new music to it. Dang it, ticks me off. Too many people have opinions in this world that are different than mine.
Well, you know what opinions are like.
Yep. Hey, everyone. Everyone, welcome to the Prepping Podcast, the Prepping Academy. The Prepping Academy. I am Forrest. We have Tenderfoot across the table here. Ouch. We are live every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. And that's a good place to go and just listen to us live on Monday night, right?
That's right.
Now, if you're on Blog Talk and you just saw this pick up, because you can see when things come live and people will click on it real quick, you need to immediately go over to Prepper Broadcasting Network, and listen to us there, because there's an interactive chat room, and tonight we're going to be utilizing the chat room more than normal, I think.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm going to actually allow Tenderfoot to actually look at the chat room.
All right.
Because if you don't know the history, Tenderfoot looks and he starts reading and he forgets we're actually doing a show. I'm like, hello. You're like, oh.
People actually have to listen to us. We have to keep talking. Okay.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to do one on like books, prepping books, survival books, medical books, all kinds of books.
What are books?
What are books? Books are people's thoughts on paper.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that's right. You don't read.
I thought it was Firestarter. I thought that's what you had in here. Just a bunch of Firestarter.
So if y'all don't know, I read a lot of books. Matter of fact, I read 3 books this week.
Awesome.
This week I started over from Mark Goodwin, because he was on the show last week. And I listened to all 3 of his Days of Elijah. The best, it used to be $2.99, one of my favorite series. The Days of Elijah by far is my best series I've ever read. And we'll talk about that when it comes to the fiction. So,
I missed that part in my mind.
Yeah. Hey, so tonight in the chat room, I mean, as we talk about books, you can name some of your books that you like, and if we don't like them, we won't mention them. I'm just kidding. We'll try to be unfair to everyone. Last week, if you listen to this podcast, last week we had Mark Goodwin from the Prepper Recon, an author, really great guy, and go back and listen to that podcast on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever. But go to look up Prepping Academy, or you can find it on Blog Talk, on Prepper Broadcasting as well. They have all our, you can go there and listen to all our podcasts as well. Awesome.
It was great.
And last week you didn't say a lot.
No, I did.
You did?
I did. I surprised you.
Because I felt kind of bad, because I felt like I talked the whole time.
Well, you did. Well, you were really into it. You really had a lot of good questions.
Dude, yeah. I'm a big fan. So, got my phone here. It's ringing. Hey, I want to send a special shout out to my man down in Columbia, South Carolina, because I'm trying to get this thing. It's a SDR. This is all going to be way above your head. You're not going to know what I'm talking about. But a couple people will know what I'm talking about. I got an SDR dongle. Oh, I love this. Is going to be awesome. And with the SDR dongle, I'm putting it on my Windows tablet so I can receive signals and I can watch aircraft fly in the air and all that kind of stuff. And we had some problems, and I think he's figured it out, or he sent me the information on how to fix it, I hope. So shout out to Michael. He also has a show.
That's right.
Do you know when it is?
That's right. It's on Fridays,
Friday
not
night.
Mondays. We are now on Mondays.
Yeah.
He's got the slot we used to have.
Yeah. So he's on Friday nights. So check him out.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to talk about survival books. Before the internet, were you born when the internet? I mean, you're kind of young. You're younger than I am.
I am. No,
okay.
But the internet, yeah. Well, the internet's was
Al
started in the
Gore?
military. Well,
Yeah.
not Al Gore.
Al Gore invented it, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
military.
I read books. I have books. These are just some of my books. I brought my books in here, and he's kind of laughing at me because they're all falling because I was just grabbed them off my shelf because I didn't want to forget some of the good ones that I have. I have a lot on audio. I have a lot of paper, and some of them are packed. Like you brought up the SAS book.
Oh yeah, the essay. That's right here.
Yeah, right here. If I had the smaller one, I'm
I
like,
could see it.
yeah, it's in my bug out bag.
Yeah, small. Yeah, that's definitely important because some of these, even like the Peterson field guides. I mean, stuff like that can fit in your bug out bag or whatever.
This one actually, my friend, I don't know if he has a code name. We'll just say Bruce. He actually gave me this one. So anyway, so let's talk about books. Let's first of all talk about survival because I think that's where you're probably got your biggest number of books.
Yes.
Okay.
For me.
Yes, for you because because you don't read any of this other stuff.
And that's how I got into prepping.
Okay.
I was what I call myself a survivalist or whatever.
So what we're going to do, we're going to pick up a book and we're going to read the first chapter to everyone. No. Okay. No. So this is more for you to hear us talk about a book, why we like a book, and you jot down the actual title or the author, and you go, that sounds interesting. Maybe I need a book in that general topic or genre, and maybe I'll go look at it and maybe possibly buy one. And you've got two people here that are kind of saying, hey, these are good books. You should people already call them names in the chat room. That's awesome. So let's talk about survival. I'll let you start because you're gonna. I mean, so your top 5 or so survival books. What would you say? You don't have to put them in order. Just
okay. Yeah. Well, let's put them in alphabetical order. No. I'm joking. But one that you may not think about, and I was talking to Forrest about this, being a Navy guy.
We won't go there, but go ahead. Sorry.
But simply the Blue Jackets manual that we all get going through boot camp. I still have mine, and it's got a lot of great information. There are other manuals, just like with the Army manuals, which we'll be mentioning as well. The Navy has those manuals for water survival, out at sea and different ways. So, there's other ways to think with survival, and so that's one of I still love it. So
that's one of your better favorite books. See, now I was going to ask you if it had a lot to do with more water, even though that still 80% of the people in the Navy are not on a boat. You know what I mean? Their support team is at a dock or. Still, everybody thinks everybody in the Navy is out
naval
at sea.
forces. That's right. It's not just out to sea. But no, but they even some of the things that we were trained in was how to look at silhouettes of ships and aircraft and stuff like that. That stuff, hey, that is very good techniques that you need that people don't think about. And so
I learned that in Battleship.
There you go. Some of those ships are obsolete now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. At least the old one that I've got, there is no battleship anymore. But.
You sing my battle. Okay. Anyway, that was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another one?
And so staying in line with the military, Army, this is where I really cut my teeth. And you actually have it.
Of course I have that.
I wrote it, and he doesn't believe me. I wrote it down before I got here, and then he brought it out.
Uh-huh.
But it's the SM-21-76, the Army Survival Manual. And they have some other ones as well.
Right.
All the branches do.
Yep.
But that's where I cut my teeth. I walked into an old surplus store, found it, started doing that, and then I would go out in the woods by myself, and the rest is history.
Yeah, this book
I'm sitting across from Forrest now.
Yep. So this book here actually has,
Oh, yours is in color.
Oh, yeah, it's got the photos of it. This is the updated one.
Okay.
This book actually it's like the Boy Scout book, but college level. Because, the Boy Scouts cover a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Putting your arm in a sling, tent, making a spear, telling directions with the stars. I mean, it's got everything. That's just a great book right there. That's definitely a good book.
Hey, let's take a quick break.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Yeah, and if you still have, you said that was one of my books too, was if you've got your Boy Scouts manual, especially if you're old school Boy Scout, like I was, they actually had survival stuff in there.
Yep.
And you're right, that is just the grown-up version.
And you can buy that anywhere.
For sure.
And you can get it in PDF online for free.
You can. Yeah, you sure can.
Yep.
They've got a ton of other things. I think I've seen some guys post on our Facebook page, like even even stuff to do with sniping. So yeah.
And what would be your next one, maybe?
Are you giving me a hint? No, the SAS Survival Handbook, definitely a great one. That's probably the go-to, I would think.
Million copies
sold. Copies. And again, they do make a small version of this.
Yes.
They make a
bigger version too.
Yeah, they got a bigger version than what he's got here, but they also have it's thick and it's long, skinny type one.
Yep.
It's made for like the side of your pack or whatever. And they've even got waterproof ones. Have you seen those?
Yes, that's actually the one I have in my debug out bag. Okay. And it costs extension, a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what this one. This one is $19 for just a basic one. This is not a book though. Okay, let's get back to the Army Survival Manual and this manual. Okay. This is not where you just sit down on Friday night and go,
you don't.
Let's read through this book.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but like every other page is a different topic or something different. You know what I mean?
Right. And
so it's more of a reference book. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. And a lot of these things are, well, depending on what they're talking about within the book, really, reference, a primer, and then you've got to go more in depth. You can't, some things you can't just go like, oh, and that's how you do it. You have to experience it.
So you've given 3 books.
Okay.
Since I was in the Air Force, though, hang on, stop.
Yes.
Because I have the United States Air Force Search and Rescue Survival Training.
There you go.
Book. This is a big book, and it has all kinds of stuff in there. Some of the same basic stuff, but we all know that the Air Force, Air Force is smarter than any other branch, and so therefore their book is better. Ooh, even how to surf the jetties and stuff, but it's all in here. So since the Air Force are smarter, the book is better.
Yeah. Sure.
and that is called the Air Force Search and Rescue Survival Training Manual there. So did you had another one?
That's right. Air Force is for those, they go in the military because they don't want to do anything. But no, I got some more. I'm going to save the fictions for when we talk about that. Mm-hmm. But we've already talked about the wild edible stuff. They're not just wild edible, but all the Peterson books.
Yes.
There's other ones. I didn't write those down. But check out all the Peterson field guides, and there are others like it. But Peterson is a very reliable resource that you can trust. That is very important when it comes to plants. You don't want to just get any book, and they do a very good job with the details and the differences, because you could be eating something that looks a lot like what you want to eat, but it's not. So you don't want to die. So always a word of caution, and I think they even say that at the beginning of the book.
They're just great books. And they're all the same size, handy. They got great color photos of the plants of this one.
Yeah, photos are very important.
Yeah.
With plants.
And not only photos, they'll describe the leaf or the colors, the veins, and everything.
Yeah.
So that's great book.
So even some homesteading books. I didn't write. We talked about it before, but I didn't write the one. I never did find that one that I was talking about. That I had read a little bit of it, but I don't have it. But there's some great homesteading books. It had everything in there from how to work on a saddle.
Oh.
Because I think what was one of the shows that we did? We were talking about the
off grid.
Well, the one where you were talking about explaining the house and all that.
Yeah, that's the book, off grid. I'm going to mention it.
Yeah. So, but other than that, if you want to, you find reliable resources you can print out. I was going to add that.
Yeah.
I've got some printed out articles and some great stuff from some bloggers and everything that I may have tried, and I add to my resources. I kind of create my own book. If you will.
Right. Yep.
And then there's some books. If you are a guy like me that loves hiking, done the Appalachian Trail, a lot of Appalachian Trail books, and other hiking resources and stuff. But I'm really an East Coast hiker, so I haven't done any of the West Coast stuff.
So I got one. It's called The Ultimate Survival Guide. How to survive and win in any climate, on land or at sea. John Wiseman. That's a very popular book too. It's one of the top sellers as well. And as you look, it's just like the other ones. It's got all the how to tie knots, how to do tents, and so good book. Another one is called Off Grid, and I've mentioned that on another show, where it takes you through some of the old stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
How to where a bug line is, how to build a spring cellar, because, I'm not sure. That's more off-grid than, I guess, survival. But here's another one. I'm going to mention this one because this was printed. I forgot who told me to get this, but this is an old one. This is hard to get. And it was in 94, reprinted, but it's called Special Forces A Camp Manual. And what it does, if you're a part of a retreat team, and you are on with a bunch of people, it shows you how to set up latrines, how to, get your poop away, how to filter water in a massive way, how to protect the camp. It's kind of like if the military is going and they're going to have to set up a camp. It kind of goes through some of the things like that, how to create barriers with sandbags and things like that.
Yeah.
It's it's a reference book. You don't sit down and read it, and it's all old school. You can see that stuff was probably put together by a typewriter, and someone put it together.
Yeah, well, that's how the old manual that I had, the old Army manual I used to have, like that.
So goodness, you got another one for survival? Because
Well, no, I was more just a topic to think about is your medical, various ones. Me being a hospital corpsman, I kind of lean that way. But again, just like with a lot of these survival books, you'll come across very similar stuff. But out of all the medical guys, hospital corpsmen rock. We rule.
Is that a book?
No.
Oh.
That's just me.
So
Corpsman up.
Corpsman up. What the heck does that mean? I heard of flaps up. Wheels up. What the heck is corpsman up?
And the only real jets have tail hooks.
Whatever. What idiot came up with the idea? Let's land on a boat. Serious. Oh wait, let's take a plane and make it, rise up like a helicopter. Seriously, what is up with that?
Oh, good old.
That's Osprey. Like the most dangerous plane is the Osprey.
Osprey, yeah.
That's actually Marines, which is Navy.
Yes.
Which is Navy. So anyway, we are up. We're up against a break right now. If G-Man is in the studio and ready, we have a couple commercials coming your way. We'll be right back with some medical books.
All right.
You're listening to The Prepping Academy, the information you need before the world ends.
Hi, Joe Alton, MD here of the survival medicine website doomandbloom.net. Have you experienced the joy that comes with helping the elderly? Well, make it old man, that's me, very happy, and your family medically prepared by getting a copy of the Survival Medicine Handbook, the essential guide for when help is not on the way. It's got the information you'll need to stay healthy in tough times, and best of all, it's written in plain English. Make the Survival Medicine Handbook a part of your library by going to doomandbloom.net. You'll be glad you did.
When disaster strikes and your GPS is useless, ancient navigation techniques will ensure your survival. New from Ulysses Press, Prepper's Survival Navigation. With this guide, you can easily travel through even the farthest, remotest places, utilizing tips from the United States Army and lifelong wilderness experts. You'll learn life-saving navigation techniques. This definitive guide to terrain navigation also teaches you essential survival skills like firecraft, water procurement, and shelter making. Prepper's Survival Navigation is essential to have on hand during any outdoor adventure, including the weekend family outing. On sale now. Find Prepper's Survival Navigation on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Prepper Broadcasting, or wherever fine books are sold.
Thanks for joining The Prepping Academy, the information you need before the world ends.
Okay, we are back. I didn't hear him unmuted, but I guess we're unmuted. So, hey, one of the books that I didn't mention yet, we talked about it before we started, was the Firefox books. There's a bunch of them, like 10 or so. They're all old school, way old school. And I don't have any of them, but I've looked at them. I haven't read any of them.
Is it Foxfire or Firefox?
I don't know.
Firefox is the web browser.
Web browser. Oh, yeah, that is my web browser. It is Foxfire. You were right. It is Foxfire. I'm looking in the chat room now, and Joe Prepper has corrected me or has set us straight. So, yeah, it is Foxfire. So, okay, back now to medical, which I guess we don't have that many medical books. I mean, I just don't have it. But I do have the best medical book ever. They were on. We're going to have to hurry this up because we got to get to fiction.
Oh yeah.
It's called the Survival. Oh, even when I had them on the show, not only did I mispronounce their names, and they're friends of mine, I mispronounced their book too. I kid you not. That really happened.
It's a marketing tactic.
Well, I was nervous because I knew them. They're my friends. It's the Survival Medicine Handbook by Dr. Joe and Nurse Amy.
There you go.
Dr. Bones, they call them. Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. And it is a book, and one of the main reasons you need it goes through everything. But one of the main things it does, it covers antibiotics.
Oh, that's good.
Fish antibiotics. Because you can get fish antibiotics to do the same thing. It's the same exact pill that the exact pill that your doctor prescribes. If it's penicillin, whatever it is. But they tell you the doses and what it's for when it comes to fish antibiotics. Because people aren't used to taking pills. Well, some people aren't for the antibiotics. And it goes through what antibiotics you need for what infection you have. And it goes through all that. That is the absolutely best medical book you can buy.
Yes. Now, I will give you a word of caution being a medical guy. You can read this. You can learn it, just like with CPR. You can get the training. But then when the real thing happens...
You're going to forget it all.
Just be ready. Yeah. Just be prepared. And keep a cool head if you come into such a situation. But it's just different. Even if you practice on pigskin or whatever, like we used to do with sutures and so forth. But so just a word of caution with that.
Yep. And the next one is a reference book. And someone just absolutely, it's called a Physician's Desk Reference Manual. So what it does is every pill has a number on it. You ever notice that?
That's right.
And this book, you can look up what that number is, and it tells you what it is and what it's for.
Yep.
That is a must to have.
Yes.
You go to someone's, family, and they're out of town. You need pills. You can look through there, and you can just refer to the number and find out what it is.
Your Pharmaceutica, I think is how they got it.
Whatever.
I don't know. Somebody.
But anyway, that is a definite manual, and Michael Klein is the one that put that as I was getting ready to say that. But that is medical-wise. That's about all I have. Do you not? You're the medical man. I was thinking you would have some books on that.
Well, just what I told you. Just the manuals and stuff that we did, and I still have them. But again, it's Navy, hospital corpsman, just different manuals. It's probably like the survival medicine handbook here, but just a bunch of different manuals. But see, I did it. I lived it. Right. And there's going to be things that you're not going to do.
Right.
That we did.
So you got, medical that's one thing you got to have some training on though.
You do.
It's hard to read this book as someone's bleeding to death. Hang on. Take bandana, tie around leg.
Yeah.
So there's some, but yes, but that's the Survival Medicine Handbook, and that's.
But you can get your EMT books and whatnot, and those are textbooks, and so you can look into that stuff. But just be again word of caution in what you're doing, because you don't want to go out there and actually practice this. It's a survival situation.
You practice it on your son, your old daughter, whatever. Another book someone's mentioned is, what is it?
Yeah, the manual
of nursing practice. Is that
I'm
it?
not sure how to pronounce that.
I don't know. Lippincott?
Lippincott, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one. So that's
just
medical.
Putting funny names out there, guys, and making us read.
I know. Yeah, that's probably all made up. Thanks. But that's a good one in the reference. They're both good books. I'm telling you, this one covers it all.
Yeah.
It does. It's one of the best. And actually, I'm not saying that because she gave me that book, Nurse Amy. I would never do that. But that's
right there. Yeah, I'm just checking it out, guys.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see what I'm doing. I'm just reading. And
they do Doom and Bloom podcast, by the way.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, Doom and Bloom podcast. Yeah, they do that. They have a podcast. Right. Yep. Okay, now let's get to some other books. Let's get to some. Oh, I know some books here. That's me. Look at that. That's me. Hey. I just found a photo of me when I was in the Air Force.
That is awesome.
Look at that. It was stuck in these books. Can you believe that? That's from like 1987.
Oh, yeah. What's up with that?
I'm there with Barry and Travis, and that's me. We worked at night. We had. Oh, yeah. You like that?
Yeah, that's your reflective.
Yeah. Okay. Another guy that I am almost a fan of. A lot of people in our group are fans of this guy. I see there's some practical things that he puts out in these books, but for most people, this is way over their head. This is way far. This is when you actually have a group, a compound, and you have communicate. You've got everything else done. Then this is the kind of book. It is on retreat security, and it is Sam Kopler is his name. He's got one book called Security. The other one is SHTF Intelligence, and it's look at that.
Yeah, all kinds of pictures.
The photos are just falling out. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. When I was in the Air Force training there, and that was my cousin. And so these are two books that you can you get information on how to gather intelligence, how to disseminate it, and then how to push it out within your group. And
I'm not mistaken, he's a Marine, right?
Yeah, he does Ford Observer podcast. I know that. And he does a newsletter as well. But that's in security. There's all kinds of security because Dave Kopler does one as well, which we talked about last week because Mark Goodwin wrote it. You remember that?
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. It was called Retreat Security and Small Unit Tactics. And it talks about security. So there are many different books, but I'm just telling you some of my favorite out there. And another good one is someone just put a guy named Charlie Hogwood did one on like survival groups. It's the most basic that you can do on survival groups, which I may or may not be putting one together myself that has more detail. I can't. We're not ready for an announcement, but
and I'll do a forward from Tenderfoot.
Yeah, you're great. Great. So that is intelligence. We've done medical. We've done survival. We got to get into I call them is there any other books before we get into the fiction? Like the off grid and like the homesteading, saving seeds.
I think we've pretty much covered a lot of the different areas. Just in these with the survival books, there's also you can really get into specific survival books, more detailed, like desert survival, water survival, and whatnot. But I tell you, the one that I see very few of. And that's why I mentioned like the Blue Jackets manual is stuff that comes, that's in there. There's other, when you're out to sea, and this even applies even on land, like how to look at silhouettes and whatnot. I don't know. There's all kinds of great stuff, but just think like that. What are you looking for? What are some? And as you read these things, get ideas for other books to look for. But yeah, there's all kinds of other material too, out, online, and I believe someone mentioned some ebooks.
Oh yeah, you can get free ebooks. Sometimes you can get them. But here's one called it's a first aid book called Living Ready Pocket Manual: First Aid Fundamentals for Survival. And we're just looking at my list here. How to die nicely. No, that I made no. Oh, that one. U.S. Armed Forces Nuclear, Chemical, Biological Survival Handbook.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's, something for you.
But so anyway, some other. So now let's talk about fiction.
Okay.
Oh, and let's go. Well, let's also. So people are in the chat room and putting some things in there as well, and I see one. We'll just talk about that. The very first one I see. And I have it right here. And it's the book. I've purchased this book about 10 times. I have. It's called 1 Second After. And I've 10 times because I give it to people and they never give it back.
Oh, thanks, man.
Have you not read that?
No, I actually.
I've gosh.
I've listened, yes.
You've listened to it?
I've not listened to audio yet.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've listened to the audio and
I really hate it because you had them there, and I'm like, I don't have a physical book for him to sign, and so he came to one of our Thursday night deals. So.
Yeah, he came to Charlotte and spoke to us, but it's 1 second after, 1 year after, and then the final day. It's a trilogy.
Yeah.
3 books, and that is.
They are great.
This book has probably turned more people into thinking about the end times or doomsday than probably any other book out there.
Yeah.
So that has to be mentioned probably first. Matter of fact, when we were at Prepper Camp, they always ask, because he's one of the speakers there sometimes, how many people read his books? And like everyone raises their hand. It's crazy. So that is a good book, good series. He also does one that will scare you, but don't let your wife read that one. It's called Day of Wrath.
Day of Wrath.
Yes, don't let your wife read that. It is crazy scary.
My wife is actually listening right
Oh,
now.
no. Because it talks about, well, you're homeschool, so you're cool. You're good.
Yeah.
Because this talks about ISIS taking their agenda to the schools of America. Oh, it's bad. Anyway, so the next series was the very first series that I read, and it was awesome. And there are 10 books in this series. And it's written by a guy named Glenn Tate. 299 days. And there are 10 books. It's about this lawyer that sees things getting kind of bad and starts kind of prepping without his wife knowing.
Oh,
Matter of fact, he has a group, he has a vacation home, he has it all, and his wife really doesn't even know it. And then she finds out they have to bug out, and it's 10 books. Awesome series. One of my favorite all-time series. It's now my number 2 series ever. They're 10 books, I know, but it's good.
Yeah.
And what these books do, the fiction books, people go, why do we need to read fiction? Why do we need to read fiction? Because as you read, you start going, wow, that's weird. I would have never thought of that. That's a good idea. So they give you ideas and thought-provoking things where you can go, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and it goes through there, and it gives you ideas, and also some of them hit you heavy with violence, and you're like, oh, whoa, how would I react? So they're I call them more mindset books than fiction, because it gets you start thinking through the mindset when you have to think through these things, and you read it in a story and in a book, and you pause and you go, whoa, I guess that was the best solution for that group, because if they wouldn't have killed these whatever, it could have done this, and you see that without it being real. Right. And so I think it helps your mindset to get through some of that.
Well, I mean, it was, I told you that the Army survival book manual is one of the ways I cut my teeth, but what got me really interested is in school, I read Hatchet, and that was like the start for me.
I've never even heard that book.
Really?
Yeah.
Hatchet. How many of you guys out there in the chat world have read Hatchet? Guess you can't really raise your hand, but if you have, just let us know.
Raise your hand. I see Joe. He's got his hand up. No.
But no. Just books like that. What was it? Wild Thing and all of those. That just really got me into it, and I still love Hatchet. I actually have it at the house. I was going to bring it.
Oh, you do have a book?
I do.
Wow.
I do.
Oh. And so so my favorite book of all time is The Days of Elijah, Mark Goodwin. We had him on last week. It's 3 books. I'm telling you, once you start, you will read them faster than any book you've ever read, because you'll be it's like, oh, I got to read the next book.
Yeah. My
favorite series of all time.
What?
Number 2 is 299 Days. The 10 books. Number 3 is 1 Second After, and I'm about to tell you number 4. Go ahead.
I was going to say that he also brought up a series that I had read, and oh man, now it just escaped me right now.
Going Home series?
No, about the end of the
Days of Noah.
No, the End Times from the other famous series. Just totally drew a blank.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just totally drew a blank. But that I listened to all of the audio series. Then they made the movie and whatnot.
Atlas Shrugged.
No. The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. Oh, Left Behind.
Left Behind. My goodness, the Left Behind.
Left Behind. That's it. Jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's late at night for us.
Okay, my 4th favorite book ever is Patriots.
Patriots.
And it is by James Wesley Rawls.
All right.
Now, this book, in 1 Second After, they were trying to figure out what was going on. They were completely caught off guard. They were just figuring things out as it was going. And in Patriots, these cats were like prepared to the T. I mean, they were just They had matching ARs, matching uniforms, comms. They had a secure location, and it gives you so many ideas. You're like, oh my gosh, that's where I was convinced that, hey, you got to have, if you're going to go with, you need to have a gun that is standard. So when you grab it, it's everyone has the same gun. But Patriots, great book. They were totally prepared, and then you kind of read, even though they were so prepared, things that went wrong with them. Great book. That matter of fact, when I tell people to read books, I tell them to read the 1 Second After and Patriots. The first two books. One group was caught off guard. The other one's completely prepared. But that's only number 3 and 4 on my list to read. But they are good books for new people.
There you go.
Matter of fact, and you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to. I don't do zombie.
Zombie books? No zombie books.
I do have this one though, and you guys may hate me, and I don't care. My next book. I tell you what. I'm gonna actually tell you my next book when we come back from the break. We got another commercial break. So, hey, we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the Prepping Academy. The information you need before the world ends.
Do not buy emergency food until you compare Legacy Food Storage. You already know you need an emergency food supply. Legacy wants to ensure that you get higher quality, longer shelf life, better tasting non-GMO freeze-dried food, and Legacy gives you up to double food for your money. There's a huge secret our competitors don't want you to know. Never compare food storage based on cost per serving, because serving sizes vary. Compare based on the weight of the food. Legacy gives up to double the food for your budget. Visit LegacyFoodStorage.com. That's LegacyFoodStorage.com. Use coupon code PREPPER to save 15% on your order.
We have exciting news. You can now afford to have your own freeze dryer. That's right, for the first time ever, it's possible to have a freeze dryer in your home. It was invented right here in America by Harvest Right. With this new appliance, you can freeze dry your own food and it will last 25 years. Imagine freeze drying fruit, vegetables, meat, and your own homemade meals. It's as easy to use as a microwave. Learn more about this amazing home freeze dryer at harvestright.com. Again, that's harvestright.com.
Thanks for joining the Prepping Academy. The information you need before the world ends.
Okay, we've been talking about some great books that can help you, books with mindset. But the number one book for mindset, the most important book you can have, bar none, is the most printed book of all times. Do you know what book that is?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say the Bible.
Yes. Because if you are just surviving for just staying alive, and you don't know the stuff that's going in the Bible, and you don't know, if you don't, there's a book written by a friend of mine called I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. And everyone needs to read that book, because he, in a sense, proves that, hey, if you don't believe there's a God, I'm saying this. He's not saying this. You're an idiot. Really. That's my paraphrase. Yeah. He doesn't say that. But the Bible, it helps you get through so many things. It's what I rely on a daily basis. Yeah.
It's the living. It is. It's the living Word of God, and you're not going to understand that until you get into it, and you are transformed by it, by God and the Spirit. And I'm telling you, it is very good, and one that you can trust. And there are things that have been in the Bible, and now are just being revealed, like in science, about the mind and about DNA, and it is in Scripture.
Yep.
And I think that's just amazing stuff.
So if you truly want to know how the world's going to end, well, the world's not going to end, by the way. It's never going to end. But if you truly want to know what's going to happen in the end of days, you got to read the Bible.
That's right.
It's plain and simple. In the days of Elijah, it goes through all that. And that's why I liked it so much, because I've studied end times a lot.
Yeah.
And as they were going through there, it was awesome. Oh, I love that. But, hey, and the Bible not only helps you with what's going to go happen, because that's the best, what do you call them? Apocrypha? No.
What?
End times. Oh, my gosh. I can't.
The apocalypse?
Apocalypse, yeah.
Sorry. I didn't know where we were.
Oh, man. I had a brain for but that's the best book ever written, and it will come true.
That's true.
That's plain and simple.
That is true.
Okay. What books do you have? Do you have any more? Because I've got a ton. As you can see here, I've got a ton.
Well, you've
Days of Noah. Oh,
yeah.
Days of Noah. That leads up to Days of Elijah. That's Mark Goodwin. Oh, Frank Horton. Oh, my gosh. The dude can write. He is incredible. Have you ever heard of Frank Horton? Did you go to Prepper Camp?
I did.
Because Frank was there. Franklin Horton is his name. And he's written all kinds, some incredible books as well. He is a friend of the Prepping Academy. He's actually been on here. Matter of fact, all these authors I'm talking about have been on here. If you go back in past shows, but he does Locker 9, The Borrowed World. He does what else? No Time for Mourning. He's got just unbelievable books that he writes, and he's kind of a North Carolina kind of guy. And he's at Prepper Camp. You can meet him. He's at shows. But Franklin Horton, and then one of his good friends writes some incredible books. And I know you've heard of this guy. Everyone calls him. He used to be called Angry American. You know who I'm talking about? And it's now he just goes by A American. He was on the show Alone, but he wrote the Going Home series.
Oh, okay.
And he's got a bunch of books he's written: Home Invasion, Going Home, Avenging Home, Surviving Home, Escaping Home, Forsaken Home, and Forced. So he's written all these books with home in there, kind of thing. And he's at Prepper Camp as well. He's been on our show as well. Unbelievable books, all of them. And gosh, have you read any of these books, by the way? I've read almost all of Franklin Horton's books. And I've read all the Going Home series books except the last 2 or 3. His latest one, Home Invasion, I have not read. I think that might be the only one I haven't read in that series. So, but I've read all his. Let's see. He's searching. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, Pillar to the Sky. Well, that's William Fortune book. That's not even a end of day book kind of thing. Someone mentioned 1984 in there. I'm not sure that's end time survival kind of prepping book. It's just really strange government. It was written in 84, I guess, and it's about what's going on today.
Well, hey,
I know
the Bible. There you go. It's
the
what's
Bible
going on today.
We're looking in the chat room now to see if there's How to Survive Tianawaki. That's a Rawlings book. It mentions all the gear and Patriots. I've actually listened to that. Bad book to listen to. You need to buy that book. But I did buy it on audio. And now all the Ham and Amron people are getting in here about ham books. You don't read a ham book. Get your test and get what they call an Elmer to teach you how to do it. I've yet to see a ham book that breaks it down for.
Well, you brought up the
normal
Amron.
people. Amron is awesome. Yeah. I've had dinner with John Jacob Schmidt. Yes, in Greensboro. It was an Amron meeting, but there was about 20 of us there, and Carolina Prepper Network is implementing Amron.
And do you have any spy books? You have a
yeah,
spy class.
Jason, I've
Jason
actually
Bourne?
No, not Jason Bourne. Jason Hansen. I've actually been to Jason Hansen's spy school.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Jason Hansen?
I don't believe I have.
Okay. Well, Jason Hansen, he was actually on the Shark Tank. He is an ex, I think he's CIA. About Jason, he's ex-CIA agent, and he has a school now called Spy School.
You did mention.
Yeah, Jason Hansen. So I teach some of the things I learned. I teach but he's a former CIA officer, and he has all. And that's a good book. Oh, another book is called. Oh my gosh, let's see if the chat room. It's like How to Survive Anything, or 100 Things You Need to Know to Survive Anything, or something.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't remember the name of that. It's something like 100 Things to Survive Anything. Someone will put that up in the book in the chat room. Great book as well. I wonder if I have it in here. Lucifer's Hammer. Did you ever read that?
No.
No. Gosh. Retreat Security. We already went that. I'm looking at some of my books I actually have. Here's an interesting. Someone told me to buy this. It is called The Naked Truth. This is revised. This is about the communism plan in America that was put together in like the 1950s, and they had like a manifesto of all these things that they wanted to get done in America, and they've almost completed all of them. I mean, seriously.
Wow.
They've almost all of them are completed. It was 100, and every one that's in the book except like one has been completed. Oh gosh, that's a good book. Someone did the LDS manual. That's not LSD. Okay, that is the Latter-day Saints manual. Now, I do not agree with their religion at all, but they are the preppers of preppers. The Mormons, the Latter-day Saints, they have to. A part of their religion is to have a year's worth of supplies. Did you know that?
I do know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they have a manual that's all things prepping, mostly food, how to store food and things like that, and water, basic survival stuff. But it's a good manual, but just don't go to their church.
No.
No.
No way to say.
So I'm still waiting for someone to put the 100 Things to Survive. Let me look it up. 100 Things Challenge. No, 100 Things. Oh, that's not it. I cannot remember the name of the book. Something about 100 Things Not to Die From or something.
No.
I cannot remember. Oh, this is a
book here.
Yeah, I know this guy. I really don't want to mention that.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, we won't mention that. There is this guy. He's been on our show before. Do you know who this is?
Yes, I do.
Were you here on that one? No, you were.
Yes, I was.
You were? No, you weren't. You were gone.
No, I did listen.
This is R.A. Bradyansky. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I think I said that right. Bradyansky. He is a local to the Carolina Preppers Network here in Charlotte. He's written some books. One here's Fewer, The Fingerless Hand, and there's a new one that's just out. I like them books. Now, they're graphic. They're major graphic. Like when someone's head gets shot off, he talks about how it just gets really graphic. But the cool thing is, for me, it happens in my neighborhood. I mean, it all happens. The first book happens within a mile from my house. Really, the first two books happens within a mile of my house. That's another good book that someone told me to read. Have you ever heard of that?
What to do when What to do when the Russians come?
Yes. That's
I gave that pause to let anybody fill that blank in there.
It's a very interesting book. I finished it, but the first 2 times I was reading it, I actually fell asleep. But it's good thinking about how other countries can take over America. You're looking through my books, man. Oh gosh, we got 3 minutes left. So our producer G-Man just texted us. So anyway, the idea is go to website, see what people think, but you got to read these books. You listening to me, Travis?
I am. I'm reading.
You got to read these books because they're good information. And another good book. Just side note, it's called "This Present Darkness" by Frank Peretti.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Isn't that the name of it?
No. You have to look it up. But I was going to say also.
Okay, go ahead.
Different. Even martial arts and other things. We talk about security. There are security books out there for you to go through, and again, you can find a lot of great resources even online for those.
Yes, and if you can buy these from your local bookstore, do that. It's always better to go local.
Yes,
I do a lot of Amazon Audible books because I drive a lot, so I listen to a lot. That's how I listen to 3 books in a week.
Yep, and a lot of these great authors they mentioned here for the fictional are right here in North Carolina. So
yes,
let's support them.
Franklin Horton, A.A. American, Robert Brad Yansky, Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy are just across over in Tennessee. But a lot of these books, though, you actually have to own. Audiobook of they don't even make one of the Survival Medicine Handbook. That would be useless.
Right.
I mean,
it would be.
And the survival training manuals, you need to physically own them. The wild edibles, the edible wild plants, you've got to own them books. So buy a book a month.
Yep.
Oprah. No, this is called the Prepping Academy Book of a Month Club. Ooh, we should do that.
There you go.
Ooh. We could make millions.
He's getting ideas.
So, guys, again, we were just going to talk about some books, some of our favorites, and what? Oh, yeah, the Prepper Broadcasting Network. They have a bookstore on there you can order books that will support our show and support Prepper Broadcasting. That's at prepperbroadcasting.com. They have a bookstore. You can buy books there. Hey, guys, we were just wanting to mention these so you can get out, and some of the ones we recommend, some of the best we think out there, you can go buy and go read. They're very helpful. And I almost mentioned the urban preppers with kids and parents. I almost mentioned that, but I didn't. But, guys, we enjoy doing this. We know it probably is not – I mean – we're going to beat out Rush Limbaugh soon, but soon. Just as soon as the right people hear us. I always say we're mediocre. We just love doing this. We hope we get some good information to you. Hope some of this was helpful. What do you got to say? We're done.
Hey, go read your Bible. If you don't have one, go buy one.
Amen. See you later, guys. You give them. Oh yeah.
I'll give you one.
Yep. Later, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Prepping Academy podcast. Preppers Unite at www.preppingacademy.com.
Today's broadcast has come to you through the courtesy of the Prepper Broadcasting Network. See our hosts, show schedules, archived programs, and more at prepperbroadcasting.com. Thanks for listening.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.